Here we are, we have reached the end of our kitchen journey at last. Let's be honest, the journey was a bit bumpier and a bit longer than we had originally planned. But hey, that's just what happens. I'm gonna take you through how we got to here from where we started. We had a small kitchen. For the size of the cottage, for the size of the adjoining spaces and the way we wanted to use this kitchen, it did not work. It felt cramped and it didn't have the right flow, the right storage, or the right functionality. So here's the thing about plans. Your first plan is probably not your best plan. I'm not saying you haven't tried to come up with great ideas. What I am telling you though is you have to be prepared to consider every single solution under the sun. After hundreds of renovations, I have learned that your first plan for a kitchen might not be your best plan. When we started this kitchen renovation, what we decided was we were gonna do something big. We were gonna take a screen porch. I'm basically currently standing in what used to be the entry to the screen porch. And we were gonna decommission the screen porch to combine it with the kitchen to create better space. Then I had an idea that the kitchen was gonna run all around the windows. What happened was this idea, where I am standing now. And what I can tell you without any doubt in my mind is we ended up exactly where we were meant to be. And that is a great thing about giving yourself the leeway and the time to think and rethink, to dream, to plan, to explore, and to make sure that before you spend any money, you know that you've got the best plan. So let's talk about some of the key things we did here to totally transform from an underused, dilapidated, and pretty ugly screen porch and a cramped kitchen that was dressed in shades of salmon and moss to get to this lake-inspired, sun-washed oasis that I am currently very happily standing in today. First of all, you've got to get the space you need, and you need to know how you want to live. For us, we like to entertain a lot. We are always big crowds and big gatherings here in this cottage. So that means having a kitchen and a setup that actually works for how we live. May not be how you live. Just remember, any renovation you are doing in your home is about making sure that you have the right solutions for you. But we're here on a lake surrounded by friends. On any given day, we are easily 20 people for dinner. We could be 30 people for dinner. And that means I need a kitchen that's up to the task. We need a bar and we need lounge space. It's all about gathering and it's about togetherness. Prep, having many, many people in the kitchen all at once, and having a casual, open, easy flow. Let's be honest, if you know anything about me, the magic is not happening behind closed doors in the kitchen. If you are arriving at my house for dinner, we are gonna make said meal probably together. You are gonna take part. We are gonna have fun, and the creation and the recipes and the dinner making is all part of the experience. But not everybody likes to cook. Not everybody likes to be involved in the prep. So I always like to have a kitchen that has a seating area. Here's what we did. We have a fabulous screen porch at the front of the cottage. It gets the best light, the best views, the best exposure. It's perfect. Our original screen porch here in what is now the lounge was always kind of windy and cool and underutilized, and it was rotten. So hey, what better opportunity than to rebuild and reimagine? What we decided to do was based on an experience that we had at another cottage where we took a screen porch and we enclosed it. When you take a screen porch and you enclose it with windows, but make it windows that open and let in tons of air, you get the best of both worlds. You get a screen porch on the hottest days because you just crank all those windows open, and then on the not so great days, on all the not so great days, you have a fantastic room. You have true all day, every day, 7 days a week living space. We opened up the ceiling, and during this process, it revealed some sort of interesting architectural lines. And I had thought we'd just drop in a new flat ceiling, and Alex said, whoa, whoa.
Maybe we could make it cool looking.
Let's celebrate these fun spaces. When it comes to cottage design, I'm all about the quirks. I like to embrace the personality. It's got a peak here, it's got a slope there. We've just stayed true to the structure of the building. We clad it all with pine, and we had a lot of existing space here to work with. I always think it's important to take the cues that you start with. What we were trying to do was take the history of a 30-year-old building and continue it on for the next 30 years, or hopefully longer, and make it all look like it went together. All we did was replicate the materials. Look at how this lounge has been transformed. And you might think, well, you already have a living room, don't you? Do you need a living room in your kitchen? Everybody gathers in the kitchen. It's where everyone wants to be. I always want to create that magnet, create that draw. I'm somebody who likes to have my coffee sitting comfortably in the morning. I'm not so much about sitting at the island. If you want to find me in the morning, I probably have my coffee in that chair right there, where I can look out all the way across the water and wake up slowly. But you have to do what works for you. This lounge is created with chairs that I bought on Facebook Marketplace. I bought some of the wackiest, weirdest, and potentially ugliest chairs you've seen, and I unified them by upholstering them all in the same light linen fabric. They are comfy and cozy, they're casual, they're relaxed, and that is the brief we were going for. A flat woven cotton rug, I think, is an ideal choice for a cottage. This is where barefoot living happens. This is casual elegance and everything that is natural and feels good underfoot. So I'm always invested in layering natural material on natural material just to keep it all feeling soft, easy, breezy, comfortable, and always connected to our surroundings. The palette in here, we're leaning into the blues. This is all about the watery tones and the good feels and the relaxed, casual vibe of life on an island, on the lake, in summer. If we're talking about natural materials, one of the greatest places you can start when you're thinking about your kitchen renovation is look for your counters. We wanted something unique. This kitchen was going to have a big island. This island is so big.
I approve, it looks very nice.
This is probably the biggest island I've ever done. It's almost 6 by 10 feet. I've never used leathered kitchen countertops before. What is leathered, you're asking? This is a type of marble that has had a finishing process. So instead of being polished or honed, it's leathered. The leathering process reveals texture. It has the most incredible veining in it. I knew this had to be for this kitchen because it has all these patches of blue. Blue marble. If you're looking at incorporating natural stone in your project, make sure that you do this early in the process because your countertop selection has to inform your cabinetry colors. This is how it has to go. You cannot choose your cabinetry and then go out and try to find the marble that matches because finding great marble is much more challenging than picking a paint color. I knew all ideas had to flow from this marble. It is the softest, most faded denim blue. I call this color Lakeside. Let's talk about the cabinetry because the cabinetry is pretty exciting. This is part of my very new collection for a company called Allstyle. I designed these door fronts and you can order these door fronts. Here's how the system works. You can start with IKEA boxes and then you can customize them. So it means that you're getting the guts that are easy to assemble yourself and you can work with the IKEA kitchen planner. And then from Allstyle, you can get the gables, the door and drawer fronts, open shelves, and you can get your kitchen exactly as you want it. And if you're looking at the colors, here's what I did. Not one, 2 colors. The island is done in a super, super soft pale gray, and the perimeter is all done in the blue. We've accented it all with brushed brass hardware, and hardware is so important. I want you always to touch the hardware. Make sure that your hardware feels soft, good ergonomically, that there's no sharp edges, that it feels sturdy and durable and suits the look you love. For me, cottage style should always feel relaxed. And I keep talking about natural materials because they're critically important to me. I'm standing on a floor that is European white oak. This is a floor from Fusion Flooring, and you know I'm a Fusion Flooring fan. It is just the right easy living, casual, light, sun-washed feeling color. The perfect tone. And this floor is unifying all the other elements in here that are natural wood. We started out with a cottage that was natural wood. It was natural wood everywhere in the weirdest colors possible. We had salmon, we had sage, we had moss, we had hunter green, we had cerulean blue. And I wanted to just calm this palette down, cool it down, and the floors are just the unifying element that run throughout this entire main building. Fabulous color, not too whitewashed, not too yellowy, not too brown, not too pickled. They're just absolutely perfect. The finishing touches, some of the most key components. We talked about the hardware. I went with brushed brass for the hardware and then followed that through for the plumbing fixtures as well. I am a big fan of these faucets. These are Price Pfister, simple and affordable. I think the styling is great. The finish is fantastic. I want you to always think about your lighting because your lighting matters. And I had so much fun sourcing the lighting for this project. I bought my lighting on Etsy, and these baskets were hand woven in Zambia. And they arrived squished up and flat packed in a box with a handwritten note. They match perfectly in terms of size, but each one is so obviously handmade. That's what I love. It's the casual, natural element of these fixtures that works perfectly for me. If you have a summer use only cottage and you come across a light fixture that looks like a floppy straw sun hat, doesn't that just mean it's a match made in heaven? We have traditionally had a cottage that was candlelight only. I didn't want this place to feel overly bright. I'm always talking about the effects that you get from lighting fixtures, whether it's textured glass, whether it's something that casts a pattern onto the ceiling. What's interesting about these basket lights is that the light is just soft and focused on the countertop where you need it. It's very atmospheric. It just feels like a candlelight glow from a sun hat. What is one of the most critical things that you can do if you're renovating? I want you to trust your instincts. Even I second guess my ideas. I wasn't sure how much of this incredible marble would be the right amount. So this was installed actually in 2 phases. Phase 1 was it needed to be the island countertop and the backsplash for the bar. I just wasn't sure whether it should be the backsplash all the way around. So I said, no, we're gonna put quartz counters around the perimeter. We'll do our fabulous marble on the island. And then we're just gonna let it be with the tongue and groove that's on the walls that's painted. And then it got installed and Alex said,
This wood behind here.
Yeah.
Are you gonna make it nice? Are you gonna dress the wall? Because I think you've got this lovely profile on your nice cupboards.
Yeah.
And then you've got suddenly this vertical line. Too many lines, man.
I thought the lines were kind of fun. So we did it in a second phase, and you can do that. It's absolutely okay to take your time. Trust your instincts, because your instincts are probably right. My instincts, they were right, because this kitchen looks so much better with the backsplash than it did without. Here's a fun fact. You know who painted this kitchen? I painted this kitchen.
I wonder what's up this ladder.
Hi! Alex and I did so much to be personally invested in the transformation of this cottage at every step of the way. Our focus throughout has been to try to save the building, to try to restore the building, and to try and renovate this entire cottage as effectively, affordably, and time efficiently as possible. It hasn't been easy. It has been a journey like no other. We have invested ourselves so deeply and we have done so much of the work ourselves. But you know what? It always pays off. Here's some simple ideas. On either side of the kitchen range, I did narrow pullouts. It's so great having a little pullout right beside the stovetop where all of your oils and vinegars, your spices, all of those always in use items are. On the back side of the island where the stools are, I have 2 skinny cabinets. It encloses the seating area and it provides great storage. It's where I store napkins, candles, and things that I'm always using to set the table, which is right beside the kitchen. Here's something I always encourage my clients to think about. Once we get a kitchen plan in place, I always ask people to label it with where they plan to put everything. This allows you to make sure you have what you need where you need it, because this kitchen is designed for you. It needs to have the storage you need for how you live, for how you entertain, for how you cook. You know what's important to me in every kitchen I design? I like it to be intuitive. and I like it to be self-serve. I'm happy to cook the meals. I'm happy to host a crowd, but I also want you to be able to find what you're looking for. So I try to make my kitchens intuitive. I always like some open display. In this case, the open display is in the bar. I almost forgot to tell you, one of my all-time favorite ideas, never done before. How about the backsplash in the bar? Is this cool or what? This is a Minister of Exteriors idea. Yes! How to bring the outdoors in. We made the view be the backsplash. So if you're sitting in the lounge, you're looking out the glass. You can see it right behind me. Look how cool that is. You have a sight line, a peekaboo through to outside. This is a first, and it will not be a last. Steal this idea. We wanted a low profile, almost no frame, just a sheet of glass. That's where my open shelving is. And you can see that our barware is out. Welcome to our home. Help yourself to a glass of whatever you fancy, because that is what summer living is about. Then I like to have some glass front cabinets. This is my new kitchen cabinet collection with teeny tiny reeded glass. I like textured and patterned glass in all sorts of different styles. I've used the seeded glass or the bubbled glass. I've used the fluted reeded glass. And in this case, this is just a teeny tiny bead on it. It's a bit of a watery riff. The fluting on the cabinet profile is designed to reflect the ripple on the water. The profile is called Ripple. The color is called Lakeside. With the glass, you get the combination of texture, so you don't always have to be making sure that everything inside your cabinets is picture perfect. Everything else, that stuff that's not so pretty, is all behind closed storage. Last thought, the big thought. Probably the most big impact element of this kitchen is you need to be willing to experiment and explore color. I hope at the end of my career, I will be known as a champion for color. Not necessarily brash and bold and wild, but subtle and fantastic. I am so glad that I played through and did a blue kitchen. It is soft, it's delicate, yet it's there. It's impactful. It tells us where we are. We are on the lake. In the big picture, I always want you thinking about your surroundings. Think about what you're trying to express, the mood you're trying to create. I was trying to create easy, happy, casual, barefoot, fun summer. It's a little cool outside, but in here, it still feels like summer. It looks like summer. That's all this is about. The cabinets look like waves. The lighting looks like a floppy beach hat. Countertops feel like the rock that we are built upon. Everything here is selected to be appropriate for place and to convey the mood of where we are and how we live. That's what I want you to think about when you're designing your kitchen. Where are you? How do you want to feel? What are your surroundings? And most importantly, what makes you happy? Because you know what? Being in this kitchen and seeing it done makes me all kinds of happy. Did I give you some good ideas? If you like this video, I think you're gonna want to subscribe. And make sure that you don't miss more good ideas, because we have so much coming your way. Turn on notifications. That's the important part, because if you turn on notifications, you'll immediately know as soon as we launch another video. So tune in.